I would really love to get an opinion from this man here on this because I know he's a big sports fan.
Hello?
Hey, morning in our one boy. Morning, Senator Roberts. How are you going?
Morning, my brother. Morning.
Hey, well, nice to hear you. I think this is the first time you've been on the program.
Well, I'm on the program.
Yeah, you're
right,
live.
well,
Oh yes,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
live.
yeah.
You're live. Let me know you're live. Yes, sir. Let me know you're live on here.
Good
Yeah.
thing we had to start to talk with normal thing about when you have been boat cruise or anything, boy. Yeah, I would have been live.
Well, yeah, it's a good thing you mentioned that. Just like from to call, I was talking a little bit earlier about the West Indies cricket and the situation with the West Indies cricket.
Oh, Lord! What you talking about? Oh, Lord! You come to bring tea on this beautiful morning that the Lord maketh. West Indies cricket?
Yeah, West Indies cricket. We were talking about that a little bit earlier on.
Well, West Indies cricket is an oxymoron right now. West Indies and cricket cannot be in the same phrase. Now, listen very carefully.
Sure.
The West Indies team from 1974 to 1983 was the greatest sporting team in the history of the planet in any sport, better than the Chicago Bulls, the Los Angeles Lakers, Brazil football team, whatever. The hockey team with Gretzky, it was the most dominant force. And we are now the worst thing that could ever put on a cricket uniform.
Right.
How did we reach there? People don't reach there by guess. It has to be a continuous, constant misunderstanding of what is required for a game, for you to move from the greatest to the world's worst. That cannot happen by guess. Let me first of all tell you, take it from the beginning. Cricket was a game back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It was not a sport. What's the difference? A game was something that was played by a select few, and coaching and science, analysis and fitness and cross-training was not really much of it. So therefore, whoever got the best athletes at that time would win. Whoever selected superior athletes, faster movement, faster hand twitch, eye-hand coordination, skill and balance, they would win. The West Indies team at that time. Sorry, somebody trying to call to them.
Yeah.
The West Indies at that time was able to get the best athletes in the world game of the 10 or so test playing countries, 8 to 10 test playing countries. India had the game as a bush game. It's a colonial relic originally.
Right.
So only the rich people in the rich schools and so on were playing. So the real athletes, the real sprinters, the real men with eye-hand coordination, the real batsmen, the real pacemen, the real men who could spin the ball, all in the villages and in the poor areas of India weren't playing cricket. And that was across the board. In England, it was also a boarding school game, a rich people game, sip a cup of tea and play cricket. So West Indies, when we assembled that team, we had the best athletes because the best of our best were playing there.
Right.
And so that we dominated and beat those other teams. But while we were beating them, they were looking on and they needed to say, but we cannot continue to take this licking because it also had societal and social licking because these were black men beating these Australia and England and so on. This was not the norm. So they put their heads together, they put their brains together and said, we have to figure out a plan to stop this domination of this black team from the Caribbean here, dominating us in a world that still had apartheid, still had Jim Crow in the USA, still had the European and England where black people were kept down in the basement and so on. Brooklyn, you had a party down in the basement. So what did they do? They controlled the game and they started to make rules and put on pad and helmet because they realized that the devastating pace of the West Indies was bringing fear into the game. So they used their control to take the fear out of the game. They then went and opened up the game to other athletes. They moved it from a bourgeois rich people game and transformed it into a sport where they did talent identification, put coaches all throughout, in everywhere, in New South Wales, across Australia and England, everywhere. They started to search for talent. Simultaneously, the West Indies coaching was also woeful. It was just that our players were brilliant. They used to train hard. They were athletes. They were intelligent. Back in Clive Lloyd team, you would have pilots and people with degrees and from UE graduates and insurance salesmen and so on.
Yeah.
The intelligence of our team was great, so they could concentrate for 5 days straight. Right now, we have fellas who don't even have 2 O-levels to rub together. They cannot concentrate for 5 overs, far less for 5 days. The world then started to put cameras and coaches in the best in the junior leagues under 8, teaching them technique, footwork, analysis. We were just waiting for the next great one to come up. We did not know how to find talent, how to coach, how to move forward. So the game passed us. It changed from a sport, and we are still playing a game. So in Australia and India could pick 5 or 6 teams now. India's state team could beat us. Where we used to get people to go to Somerset League and out there in cricket in England to get some sort of training to bolster the talent, that is not really an option now. So we are left with our woeful coaching. Our coaches are horrendous. We do not have enough children into it. We do not share the knowledge. We do not work the time. We do not practice the amount of hours necessary. So while I hear some points, people saying, pick the wrong team and they pick that. Listen to me very carefully. Those are issues about myopic thing and picking who from which island and somebody must get a sweat. Those are little issues, but those are secondary. Because even if you pick the best of the best, Stefan Rees, if you go look through the Caribbean in every league, in every nook and cranny, and you pick the best 15, we are the worst still. Because our best is horrendous. Our best is not good. Our best is not fast. Our best is not skillful. Our best is not practiced. Our best is not intelligent. Our best is not clean. Our best is not good. We are not good. It requires a total change now, 30 years late, that we need to get on in the primary schools in every island from Guyana. Guyana, not the island, but from Guyana in the Caribbean, come straight up to Jamaica. Every primary school. We need our coaches not to be coaches because they play the game. We need our coaches to choose to coach instead of being a doctor or a lawyer or a professor or a mathematician or an insurance agent. We need coaches who understand the science, the ability. We need to get our children off of the iPad. We need to get academies rolling. We talk about it, but we do nothing. We need to get fitness and agility. You talking about bowling in the blocko? How do you think Australians could bowl in the blocko? So not by yet. They're teaching them that in the little, when I went to World Championships 1998 in Perth, in between I watching little training camps on every little ground. And they have little color ball, pink and green and fluorescent, yellow and so on with stump and children. If you see 300 children playing cricket and so on, where in Trinidad and Tobago you could see 300 little children playing cricket.
You don't see that at all. You don't see that at all.
We don't have it. We don't have the numbers. We don't have the education. We don't have the discipline. We don't have the brain. We don't have the passion. And that's why we get licked. Either we change everything now or come out and stop. It's hurtful, my brother.
It's painful to see what West Indies cricketers come to. It hurts.
But it must hurt. West Indies cricket is what let all of us know that we could be the best in the world.
Exactly.
If you wanted to play, if you wanted to be in academia, you could go Oxford and Harvard. If you're a businessman, you could start a business and branch out and become a corporate citizen. You're a writer. You could write a book. You could become a novelist. You could become a scientist. You could go anywhere and compete. You could go on the Olympic stage as Hazy Crawford and win in 76. Cricket is what told us in the Caribbean that we right here in the islands could stand up and battle the world mano a mano, and it is an embarrassment. But do not get confused. There is no quick fix. The fix is down there by about the age group of under 8.
Wow.
So under 8 with pure science across the Caribbean, over 20,000 children playing the cricket with great coaches, great science, identification, continuous playing, indoor nets, outdoor nets, video footage, proper diet, proper fitness, flexibility, and so on. Within 18 years, we will be back up at the top. Other than that, we gone.
The worst will continue.
All we go do is hope and pray. Yes.
All
if
right,
God land and sit down on the stump, we go win a match.
Well, Senator Roberts, thanks a lot for that breakdown there. I don't think I looked at it that deep, you know. You
very
really went back
deep.
there and you bring up a significant point, you know. It was a
Yes,
bourgeois
I mean,
game.
I could go on, but those are the major issues. And
All
we
right,
have to
man.
understand, I could also go into the competition, they bring the CPL and they mash up the curriculum. You don't see, they sign a 50-year contract with CPL, but you don't see Trinidad and Tobago playing, Barbados playing, Guyana playing, Jamaica in no T20. You sell out the cricket in the Caribbean for money. So you get what you pay for, which is a set of nonsense and one or two individuals who want to just make money for themselves. And cricket is a team game that requires cohesion and chemistry.
Yeah.
So the West Indies Cricket Board has sold out the cricket. India will have 4 or 5 teams better than our best team. And we will remain right there, losing to Scotland and losing to Netherlands, our football side, and be embarrassed.
Yeah.
This is a disgrace. And people don't understand it.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say? But I also disagree with Prime Ministers attacking the team while they're in a competition. You have the power to sit down in CARICOM and get and formulate the strategies that I have just said. You have the power position. You do not use your power position to beat down fellas who are ready. They try their best. They didn't try to lose. They're just saying good.
Yeah.
But they're just saying good because you all have not done your job and instructed or pressured or put the Windies Cricket West Indies on notice that funding will dry up and so on if they don't take this thing serious.
Seriously.
It's a very serious thing and needs to be addressed. Thank you, my brother.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll talk for Trinidad football on another time.
Hold on. No. Hold on. You want to put me in West Shore? No. God bless. Bye-bye.
All right, God bless, man. Thanks a lot.